In a seemingly perfect world, Jade Benning had it all: a promising career as a chef, loving friends, and a baby on the way. But on a fateful night in February 2022, her life was tragically cut short. She was at home, enjoying dinner with Blaise Taylor, the father of her unborn baby, when suddenly, Jade began feeling violently ill. Blaise called 911, reporting that Jade was experiencing an allergic reaction. She was rushed to the hospital, her condition worsening with every passing minute. Tragically, her unborn baby died, and a few days later, Jade also passed away. However, it was discovered that Jade didn't actually have an allergic reaction. She died from poisoning. But was this a case of accidental poisoning, or was it a calculated murder? Join us as we delve into this mysterious and chilling case. Born and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas, Jade Tristan Benning was known for her vivacious personality and an infectious smile that could light up any room. Her childhood and upbringing laid the foundation for the strong, ambitious, and confident woman she became. Jade's early years were characterized by her athleticism and boundless energy. At just 7 years old, she delved into the world of cheerleading, eventually rising to become the captain of both the junior varsity and varsity squads at Little Rock Central High School, from which she graduated in 2016. But Jade's life wasn't confined to the cheerleading mat. Her passion for cooking was evident early on and only grew stronger over the years. After high school, she pursued her dream of becoming a chef by enrolling at Brightwater, a center for the study of food in Bentonville, Arkansas. She graduated in 2020 with a degree in culinary arts, earning accolades for her innovative approach to traditional dishes and her mastery of pastry making. Her time at Brightwater was not just about acquiring technical skills. It was where she developed a deep understanding of the cultural and historical significance of food, which influenced her culinary style. Jade's talent led her to prestigious roles, including head pastry chef at Mirabella's Table, where her creations were celebrated for their artistry and flavor. Her reputation grew, and she eventually founded her own catering business, JTB Eatery. Her entrepreneurial spirit shone through as she built her business from the ground up, earning a loyal clientele who admired her creativity and dedication to quality. Ambitious and driven, Jade set her sights on bigger opportunities and eventually moved to Nashville, Tennessee. Though her family was saddened by her departure, they were proud of her pursuit of her dreams. In Nashville, Jade quickly made a name for herself, securing a position as the head chef at Ernest Bar and Hideaway. Her reputation grew rapidly due to her exceptional desserts. Jade's work life was characterized by her relentless pursuit of excellence. She was known for her meticulous attention to detail, her innovative use of ingredients, and her ability to create visually stunning and delicious dishes. Her colleagues and clients often spoke of her passion for her craft and her unwavering commitment to delivering the best. Her culinary creations were not just food, they were expressions of her artistic vision and her love for bringing joy to others through her cooking. Born and raised in a football-centric family, Blaise Taylor's upbringing was steeped in the culture of the sport, shaping much of his early life and career. Blaise grew up in a supportive and athletic household in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. His father, Trooper Taylor, was a well-known football coach, which meant that football was more than just a pastime. It was a way of life. From a young age, Blaise showed a natural aptitude for the sport, and his father's influence and guidance were pivotal in fostering his love for football and his drive to excel. He was a bright student, balancing academics with his burgeoning football career. His high school years were marked by significant achievements on the football field. He was a standout player, known for his speed and agility, which earned him a scholarship to Arkansas State University. After graduating from Arkansas State, Blaise transitioned from player to coach, reflecting his deep understanding of the game and desire to stay connected to football. He worked as a scout for the Tennessee Titans, where he was responsible for identifying and evaluating new talent. It was during this time in 2022 that he met Jade Benning through mutual friends. They soon started seeing each other, but according to Jade's best friend, they never officially started dating. Their relationship seemed promising at first. However, as time went on, it became evident that their relationship was fraught with difficulties. Blaise's career demanded a lot of his time, and the couple faced numerous obstacles that prevented them from being in a proper relationship. They went through periods where they would spend time together, followed by stretches where they wouldn't even talk to each other. The relationship was up and down, but then during the latter part of 2022, Jade discovered she was pregnant. The news brought a mix of joy and anxiety. Jade was excited about the prospect of becoming a mother, but the strain in her relationship with Blaise grew more pronounced. Friends noted that Jade often confided in them about her concerns and fears, especially regarding Blaise's lack of support during her pregnancy. According to Jade's best friend Najaya, Blaise didn't want to have the baby. "He made it very clear that he did not want the baby," Najaya said. "He did not want to be a part of the baby's life and was kind of ultimately telling her that she'd be a single mom. But Jade was adamant that she was going to have the baby. She already felt a bond with her unborn child and was planning on naming her Ivy Blair." Blaise and Jade stopped speaking after that, but eventually, after a few months of silence, the two started speaking again in January 2023. Blaise gave Jade the impression that he had a change of heart and that he wanted to be there for her during her pregnancy, as well as be a part of the baby's life. She was overjoyed by this news, and so the two started hanging out again. Then, on February 25, 2023, Jade invited Blaise over for dinner, where she planned to cook him a tasty meal. As evening approached, Blaise arrived at Jade's apartment. Lately, he had been busy with his duties as a scout and coach, which had prevented him from spending time with Jade, so they were looking forward to spending some quality time together that evening. Blaise, who had a keen interest in Jade's culinary skills, often enjoyed the meals she prepared. Jade's best friend Najaya also stopped by that night for a quick visit, but left soon after. So the two were enjoying their time together, something they hadn't done in a while. However, the tranquility of the evening shattered when Jade suddenly began to feel unwell. She went from being perfectly fine one minute to feeling disoriented the next. She knew that something was seriously wrong, and her condition deteriorated rapidly. Blaise called 911, reporting that Jade appeared to be having an allergic reaction. Emergency services arrived promptly and rushed her to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. She was soon in critical condition. At the hospital, doctors worked tirelessly to stabilize her. Despite their efforts, her unborn child died 2 days later, on February 27th. Jade remained in a critical state, her condition worsening. The medical team was unable to interview her due to her deteriorating state, leaving many questions unanswered. Then tragically, on March 6, 2023, on her 25th birthday, Jade Benning passed away. Her death was a devastating blow to her family and friends. The case sent shockwaves through the community, with many struggling to comprehend the senseless loss of such a talented and promising young woman. Due to the manner in which Jade and her unborn baby died, an immediate investigation was launched. Investigators quickly focused on Blaise Taylor. From the outset, the circumstances surrounding Jade's sudden illness aroused suspicion. During the investigation, medical professionals noted that her symptoms were inconsistent with a typical allergic reaction. Investigations revealed that Blaise had allegedly poisoned Jade by putting a lethal amount of liquid cocaine in her drink without her knowledge, leading to her and the unborn child's deaths. They wanted to call Blaise in for questioning, but he had already moved to Utah, which was out of their jurisdiction. Due to the lack of evidence for an arrest warrant, they couldn't extradite him back to Tennessee. Then, a year later, after a lengthy investigation, an arrest warrant was finally issued for Blaise Taylor. On March 14, 2024, Blaise was parked in a Walmart parking lot with an unidentified female sitting next to him in his car. A deputy U.S. Marshal spotted his car and approached him.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you doing?
Good.
Can I ask your name?
Blaise.
Blaise? I need you to step out of the car for me, okay?
Okay.
What's your last name?
Taylor.
Put your hands behind your back for me, okay?
What's wrong?
You've got a warrant out of Tennessee for homicide. I know absolutely nothing about the case. All I know is I was notified that there was a warrant.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't have a choice but to deal with that, okay?
Yeah, that's
So
I understand.
I'm just being totally straight with you. I don't know anything more about it.
After he was arrested, he was extradited back to Nashville to face the charges. The case drew significant media attention, not only due to the tragic nature of the events, but also because of Blaise's background and his father's prominence in the football community. This shocking revelation of Jade and her unborn baby's death upended Blaise's life, resulting in 2 charges of first-degree murder. On April 18, 2024, during a bond hearing, Jade's best friend, Janiyah Jackson, took the stand and gave a detailed account of what took place on February 25th. She was asked a series of questions by both the prosecution and the defense. Here is some of what Janiyah said happened the day Jade was allegedly poisoned. On February 25th, Jade messaged Janiyah and told her she was planning a date night. Jade asked her what she should cook for dinner, and Janiyah suggested she make chicken Alfredo. Later that evening, while Jade and Blaise were getting ready to eat their dinner, Janiyah and her male friend stopped by to pick up some chicken Alfredo and ended up staying for roughly 15 minutes. It was the first time she actually met Blaise in person, so she chatted with him to get to know him a bit better. The conversation was lighthearted, and Blaise was even joking around. At this point, Jade was in a good mood. She was happy, cheerful, and seemed excited for the evening ahead. Janiyah and her male friend decided to leave, as she knew Jade wanted to have a quiet, romantic evening with Blaise. After she left, she texted Jade and said that it was a fun interaction and that they should all do it again sometime. Jade responded and said that they would, and that Blaise even mentioned they should have stayed longer so they could play some card games. But Janiyah explained to her that she felt like she was intruding on her date night with Blaise, and she'd catch them next time. This was roughly at 8 p.m. Then at around 9:30 p.m., Janiyah's phone rang, and it was Jade calling. When Janiyah answered, Jade didn't actually speak to her and didn't even say her name. Instead, Janiyah could hear Jade having a strange conversation with Blaise, and her voice sounded wavy. Janiyah knew that something was terribly wrong, and she was extremely concerned for her best friend.
When she called me, she never said hello. She never said my name. She never acknowledged that I was on the phone. It was almost like they were having a conversation and I was just listening to the conversation. She sounded like very wavy, and she started to say, "You did this to me. You put something in my drink. I knew my drink tasted funny. I can't even walk straight. You did this so something could happen to the baby." And she was saying, "Empty your pockets," as if he had something in his pockets.
As the conversation continued between Jade and Blaise, Janiyah realized that she couldn't make out what Jade was saying anymore. It wasn't because she couldn't hear her, but rather because Jade was becoming increasingly disoriented and wasn't communicating clearly.
As the conversation continued, I couldn't really understand what she was saying anymore.
The call lasted roughly 6 minutes. During the first few minutes, Janiyah could make out what Jade was saying, but towards the end of the call, Jade wasn't really making any sense and said she felt like she was going to pass out. Janiyah called out Jade's name multiple times, but she stopped responding, and the phone hung up.
As the conversation was continuously going, she wasn't really making sense, and then she was saying that she felt like she was about to pass out, but it was more like, "I'm about to pass out," and I couldn't really, I was like, "Jade, Jade," and she stopped responding.
Janiyah immediately called Jade's number back, but there was no answer. Eventually, after about 10 minutes of calling, Blaise answered and said the ambulance was on its way and he had to go, so he hung up. Janiyah then raced over to Jade's apartment. When she got there, Jade was at the back of the ambulance, and things weren't looking good.
I was at the gas station and I drove to her apartment. Jade was already in the back of the ambulance. She was laying on the bed, and they were doing compressions, and she was really, really gray. And her head was like tilted to the side.
Jade was immediately rushed to Vanderbilt Hospital, and Janiyah and Blaise went there as well. Once they arrived, hospital staff tried to figure out what caused Jade's health to deteriorate so quickly, so they asked Blaise to explain exactly what they did earlier that evening. Blaise explained that they had dinner, they played games, they danced, and then Jade started feeling woozy, so she laid down and then threw up, and then he called 911. What he didn't mention was the phone call Jade made to Janiyah and what Jade accused him of. Then they asked Janiyah to explain what had happened, and she explained what she heard during the phone call. While she was still explaining, Blaise got angry and shouted at her, which was a strange thing to do considering the circumstances.
When they asked me what happened, I proceeded to tell them about the conversation that happened on the phone. And in the midst of me telling what happened on the phone, then Blaise started yelling, "You act like you care about her more than me, and that's the mother of my child." I got really upset because that's my best friend, and that's just an irrational statement to make when that doesn't matter in this moment who knows her more or her relationship at that time.
Janiyah explained that she wasn't even able to speak to anyone alone without Blaise wanting to hear what she would say, and he kept hovering over her.
Anytime that I asked to talk to someone alone, Blaise would ask me why can't he be there, and was just very hovering over me anywhere I went.
A doctor from the medical examiner's office took the stand and explained what Jade's cause of death was.
Well, her cause of death is acute cocaine toxicity. That has to do with the cocaine that is present in the blood that was collected upon arrival at the hospital. This blood was drawn closest to the time that Miss Benning became unresponsive, so it would be most reflective of what was in her system at that time when she arrived at the hospital.
During the same court hearing, Blaise's mother defended her son and stated that he could not have done what he's being accused of because he has never been in trouble with the law before.
He has not had any legal problems, no arrests.
The prosecution revealed something that wasn't mentioned before. On the night of February 25th, when Blaise called his mom to tell her what had happened, he left out a lot of information and even told her something different from what he had told the police.
When he calls his mother to tell her this information, the only information he gives her is that Jade Benning has COVID.
You see, on the night of the incident, when Blaise called 911, he said he believed Jade was having an allergic reaction to something she consumed. So why would he tell his mother that Jade had COVID? Homicide detective Adam Reese believed that this was a premeditated murder. He also believed that there was a cleanup done before they arrived at the scene.
It's not a spur-of-the-moment type of thing to put drugs in someone's beverage. It appeared there had been some cleanup done.
Investigators found 2 dinner plates at the scene but only 1 glass, and that glass had alcohol in it. According to Jade's friends, she wouldn't have had any alcohol since she was pregnant, so that glass was probably Blaise's glass, while Jade's was missing. Detective Reese explained that Jade had a cup in front of her in a photo she took that night, and that cup was missing when they arrived at the scene. This is what Detective Reese was referring to when he mentioned the cleanup he believed took place before they arrived at Jade's apartment. The defense believed that there wasn't enough evidence against Blaise to deny him a bond.
Your Honor, we're just asking that you set a reasonable bond. Let Mr. Taylor fight this case.
Despite the amount of evidence against him, Judge Steve Dozier set Blaise Taylor's bond at $2.5 million. He was only required to pay 10% of that amount and managed to post bond. He was released at around 9:30 a.m. on Friday, April 26, 2024. His next court appearance is scheduled for the end of June 2024. For Jade's family and friends, the pain of losing her is immeasurable, but they are determined to seek justice for her and her unborn child. Jade Tristan Benning's life was a testament to her passion, creativity, and resilience. From a spirited child with a love for cooking to a successful chef and entrepreneur, her journey was truly inspiring. Her untimely death, under tragic circumstances, left a void in the hearts of those who knew and loved her. Jade embodied warmth and kindness, with an infectious smile and contagious laughter. Her unwavering support for others was a hallmark of her character. As a fierce champion for her friends, Jade's presence was a source of strength and comfort in both times of celebration and hardship. In remembering Jade Tristan Benning, we honor a life filled with passion, creativity, selflessness, and love. As the community rallies around her memory, they hold on to the hope that justice will prevail, and that Jade's story will serve as a reminder of the preciousness of life and the importance of cherishing every moment. To Jade's family and friends, we extend our deepest and most heartfelt condolences to each of you during this incredibly difficult time. May God comfort and strengthen you all, and may Jade's soul rest in eternal peace.